This is the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping on December the 16th, 2016. Our time is 8:43 Mountain. Radio show runs 6:30 CHED in Edmonton, Sunday afternoon at 3. Now, next week, we're going to be on Christmas Eve at 11 a.m. Don't miss us. Christmas Eve, 11 a.m., and then we will be on New Year's Day at a regular time, Sunday, the first show of 2017, New Year's Day, 3 p.m., 6:30 CHED. If you ever miss a radio show, they're archived on Harold's two websites, HESradio.com, rarecoloreddiamonds.com. We have a podcast through iTunes. We're also on TuneIn. We have our own YouTube page. And 6:30 CHED is on Apple Music. So we're there for you on lots of different platforms. You'll never miss a radio program. Connect with Harold at rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. Our featured diamond this week, we'll talk about diamonds in the second half of the show, is a .33 carat radiant cut fancy green. And this is yet another diamond with a beautiful, beautiful color. You can see it online, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. As we tape today's program, we look back to Wednesday, and we have to give Harold credit because he predicted a lot of what happened this week months ago. We said that interest rates would go up in December. They did. The Fed raised from 0.5 point to 0.75, and they are saying now, in 2017, 3 rate rises for sure. So we'll have to wait and see if that happens, but more than likely it will. Now, we also predicted, and Harold was right again, on the Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar went down strongly as a result of interest rates being raised in the United States. And Harold really was a contrarian when it came to the gold market. Everyone was saying if they elect Donald Trump in the United States, gold is going through the roof. Harold said, no, I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think gold's going down. And since we've seen the U.S. dollar strengthen, and it jumped from 101 to 103 and is almost at par with the euro, gold has taken some major hits over the past many months. So Harold was spot on yet again. And obviously, Harold, we used to call him Nostra Harold. It's a joke. And the old crystal ball is working very well. Once again, Harold, I know you're getting a lot of calls from our radio listeners and people that are clients of yours with the amazing calls you have made in 2016 on the U.S. dollar. Also, gold and silver going down. People didn't think that was going to happen. It was a contrarian point of view. But once again, you were right. And people have made a lot of money on your recommendations. In fact, there was a man, and he said that we could mention his name. His name was Dan. And as a result of investing with you, he sent a picture our way of a brand new BMW. And he thanked Harold. He said, Harold, thank you very much. As a result of investing with you, this is what I now have. And congratulations to Dan. Not only did he listen to the radio show, but he took the advice, put his money to work. And Harold, we're very happy for Dan and all of those that have taken your advice, listened to the radio show. They've done very, very well. If they've actually gone through and followed through on obviously shorting the U.S., shorting the Canadian dollar, shorting gold and silver, because that's exactly what happened.
You better believe it, Randy, and thank you very much for the accolades. And to my friend Dan O'Neill up in the Northwest Territories, congratulations on your beautiful BMW, my friend. You certainly deserve it, and again, we wish you all the best for the holidays coming up. Anyways, yes, it was a phenomenal time in the markets for us the last few weeks. You know, we put out a sell order on gold when it was at $1,380, and as we're taping the show right now, it's at $1,130. So we've seen a $250 drop when nobody else saw this drop coming in gold. So the fact is that and I don't want you to get the wrong idea that I want gold to go down. It's just an action-reaction to what's happening in the marketplace. And again, we saw this happening several months ago because there's a direct correlation between gold and the U.S. dollar. And if we felt that the U.S. dollar was going to strengthen, then we had to go with the fact that gold was going to drop. Now, the reason that the analysts felt that gold was going to run is at the beginning of 2016, gold was at 1380. I'm sorry, gold was at 1,050, and the U.S. dollar was at that point there actually a lot stronger, a lot weaker than what it is right now. So we put out a sell order in gold. We felt that gold was going to fall once it made this rally. At the beginning of the year, gold actually went from 1,050 to 1,380. So it had a very, very strong move, and a lot of people got very bullish on the market, and it was exciting to see gold start off that way. However, as the market started to strengthen in the U.S. dollar, and there was that correlation between the dollar and gold, we felt that it was inevitable that gold had to fall, and we put out a sell on a short-term trade. We have a lot of clients that follow our recommendations and do their own thing. They may go into the futures market or the options market and take our advice and trade for their own benefit. In fact, we have many clients that have done that. We have many clients that bought gold from us or bought gold on our recommendation back in 2000 at $250 and rode gold all the way up to $1,900. It was the biggest bull market of all time. We have clients that put in $50,000 and got out $500,000. We have clients that became multimillionaires because of our recommendation on gold and silver starting back in 2000. But I don't want you to get the wrong idea. Gold is a very important commodity, and gold is going to run again. It's just at this particular point, with all the turmoil in the world markets, we felt that the U.S. dollar and the U.S. economy was the place to have your money. Because with what was happening in Europe, and everything in Europe was falling, listen, I'm Canadian and I love Canada, I love everything about Canada, but in all reality, Canada's in financial trouble. There's no doubt that when oil went down, the currency dropped, real estate market's in trouble. I believe the banks are going to be in trouble in Canada. I'm very, very concerned about that, and I've been instructing my clients to get their money out of Canadian dollars and into U.S. dollar-based investments, and that's exactly what we've done over the last 5 years. Our clients are making fortunes in the market right now. Dan O'Neill, again, is not the only person that has profited, but again, he got his dream car as a result of having the guts to go outside the box and trade in a market that he was uncomfortable with or didn't know anything about. And we have many clients like that. But the fact is, we're there to hold your hand through this and explain to you the trends that we're trying to find. And that's the thing that we've been very successful about, is finding actual trends in the market. We don't look for short-term trades. We don't look to actually trade the market. What we look to do is find a trend in the market and run that trend as long as it's going to run for. And that's what we saw in gold. So at this particular point, for all those that are looking for an entry point in gold, we believe that gold's going to go back down to 1,050, and that should happen fairly quickly. It could actually happen before the end of the year. As the dollar gets stronger and stronger, gold is going to fall further. There's very heavy support at 1,050 because that's where the market started and bottomed out at the beginning of 2016. So at this point, I believe that gold's going to drop to 1,050. It'll bounce off of that price because, again, there's a heavy support level. The market could go up $20, $30 from that point. But if the gold market is, if the U.S. dollar is going to continue to rally, which I believe it will, then gold could literally drop to 900. So we'll keep you advised and see if the 1,050 level holds in gold, but I highly doubt at this point here, with as strong as the U.S. dollar is, I think that we will see lower than 1,050 in gold at this particular point. Where does that leave silver? Silver right now is trading at $16. If gold drops to 1,050, it's going to bring it down to about $1,450. If we break $1,450 and gold actually goes down to that $900 level, which is very possible, at that point there we'd see silver at about $10, which would give us phenomenal buying opportunities going into the next phase of what I believe could be a strong bull market in both gold and silver because we will start to see inflation coming back into the market. I do believe that the dollar, the U.S. dollar, which is the most important currency at this point, is going to rally very strong. It took a long time for the U.S. dollar to break the par level. Now that we've broken par, we've been to 101, we've been to 102, we've closed 2 days in a row above 102, and now we're actually trading at the 103 level. So the euro right now is trading at 104. So we're almost at par with the euro. The U.S. dollar is doing everything that we anticipated it would, and I believe that not only is the U.S. dollar going to go to 110, but I also believe it's going to break that and hit the highest levels that it's ever hit. Again, that's a phenomenal because we're all in U.S. dollar-based investments. So what I see moving forward, I see gold falling, I see silver falling, I see the Canadian dollar falling substantially. So if you think that you've missed the move in the U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar investment that I'm talking about, you haven't. Because the fact is that I believe that the Canadian dollar is going to be trading at the 170 level as the U.S. dollar gets stronger and stronger. So what that means is that right now it would cost you $1,340 in Canadian money to buy $1,000 American. So it would cost you $1,340 to buy $1,000 of American money. Soon it's going to cost you $1,700 Canadian to get 1,000. Let me show you how to take advantage of that. We have private investments that our Canadian clients are invested in with us as partners, and they're making over 25% a year, and they're making that money in U.S. dollars. So we're ecstatic about what's happening in the market. We are contrarians. We don't go with what everybody else says because if you look at what's happening in the stock market and the commodity markets, 90% of the people that trade those markets lose. So why in the world would we ever want our clients to trade in those markets? We're in the alternative asset business. Our businesses are doing extremely well right now at a time when most businesses aren't. So, again, at this point, it's not too late to get involved in our private trades that will pay you in U.S. dollars. And, again, if you just sit there in Canadian dollars at this particular point and don't do anything, you're going to lose a lot of money. Don't forget what happened with Brexit. A few months ago, the fact is that people that did nothing lost 25% of their net worth in 1 hour. We don't want that to happen to the listeners of our show. Again, we do the radio show for going on 17 years now. We put out the World Financial Report for that period of time. We don't charge for any information, not for the radio show, not for the newsletter, not for our seminars, not for anything. All we want is for our Canadian clients to do well. And at this particular point, we're at the top of the heap. Our clients are doing phenomenal. All of our assets are based in U.S. dollars at this point, and all the markets are going our way. And I don't think there's any other firm out there that can say what we're saying at this point. So again, hold off on buying gold till I suggest it, but we'll have to see if the 1,050 level holds. It's very possible that we could see gold break that and go down to as low as 900. And if it did, it would be a phenomenal buying opportunity because over the long term, we still believe that gold's going to be a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 metal. On top of that, we think silver could possibly drop down to around the $10 level, but at that point it would be a phenomenal buy, and we'll certainly let you know what the markets look like at that point. I would still go long the U.S. dollar. I think the U.S. dollar is the strongest currency. I've said this for the last several months, that the U.S. is the only country right now that can raise interest rates. And you saw what happened this week when they raised interest rates just a quarter of a point. They're pretty well guaranteed to raise it at least 3 times next year. So the fact is we want to take advantage of that because when they raise the value of the U.S. dollar, it's against other currencies, including the Canadian dollar. So if we just sit there and don't do anything, well, then shame on us. We're missing a golden opportunity to make an awful lot of money. And again, I'm a very, very conservative person. I'm not a major risk taker. However, my clients do much better than the average because we trade outside of the box. We buy alternative assets that are not as volatile as the stock markets and the mutual fund markets. If you're sitting in a retirement savings plans right now, you're losing a fortune. Nobody has made money in Canada in retirement savings plans in over a decade. You need to sit down and talk to me about this because you've got an opportunity to get your finances in order and start to make a lot of money again. So give me a call. I'll spend as much time with you. I'm working over the holidays. I'm not going away. So, again, we're going to continue to do our radio shows throughout the holidays, even though they fall on Christmas and New Year's type of thing. But, again, at this particular point, the information that we're giving you is imperative to you moving forward and making money. And, again, this was not done with smoke and mirrors. 5 years ago, we told everybody to get out of Canadian dollars and start to buy into the U.S. dollar, and that's turned out to be one of the most successful opportunities that our clients have ever had. We told you way in advance that gold was going to drop a year ago. We said the gold would not break 1380, and it was going to drop back down to 1,050. Nobody thought that that was going to happen. And look where we are right now. We're at 1130. We're actually $80 away from hitting our price. And the fact is, for clients that shorted gold at 1380 down to 1130, they've made 500 or 600% return on their money already at this particular point. So, again, Randy, thank you very much for the accolades. The fact is that, you do a lot of research. The information that we're getting to our clients is phenomenal. And I got to tell you, this year, even though it's been a tough year for a lot of people in Canada with Fort McMurray in trouble and oil markets dropping and unemployment and the banks and what's happening in the real estate markets and everything, but the fact is I can proudly say that our Canadian clients are doing much better than the mainstream. And again, we're getting our clients into U.S. dollar-based investments that are ending up doing tremendously well for our clients. Our clients are making over 25% a year. And if you're not doing well in the markets and you're concerned about retirement, you will never retire in today's market if you don't get out of your comfort zone and do something. If you just sit there in retirement savings plans, you'll make no money. If you just sit there and don't do anything about these markets, you'll never retire because interest rates in Canada are at 0.5%. And that would chase people back into a stock market that 90% of the people that trade lose. We don't want you to do that. Give me a call. Let me explain to you how I can help you get on the road to making serious money again and have a vision as to how you can finally retire when, again, for most people, that is just a dream.
Even Bill Gates came out this week and said, stock market is overvalued. Connect with Harold. RareColoredDiamonds.com is his website. RareColoredDiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. 1-800-432-1022. Speak with Harold personally, privately. The call is free. Anything discussed is confidential. Now, the only reason we mentioned Dan's name off the top of the show, he gave us permission to do that. So I just wanted you to know everything is 100% confidential. This week's featured diamond from RareColoredDiamonds.com is a 0.33 carat radiant cut fancy green. It is stunning. See it online, RareColoredDiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. We'll talk about diamonds in the second half of the show. The big news of the week, obviously, other than interest rates and U.S. dollar going up, Canadian dollar going down, Deutsche Bank records show that they were rigging silver along with other banks. This is obviously not a surprise to us. We've been doing the show, Harold and I, together since February of 2002. Harold a little bit prior to that. And as Harold was saying, around 17 years, we've talked about manipulation and GATA, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee, and all the good work that they've done bringing to the fore manipulation in the metals markets, in particular gold. Well, it has come out that Deutsche Bank records show they were rigging the silver market 8 months after Deutsche Bank AG settled a lawsuit claiming it manipulated gold and silver prices. Documents it disclosed as part of the accord provided smoking gun proof that UBS Group AG, HSBC Holdings PLC, and a name that we know well here in Canada, Bank of Nova Scotia. Bank of Nova Scotia, and obviously these are allegations at this point, and other firms rigged the silver market, plaintiffs claim. The allegations came in a filing Wednesday in a Manhattan federal court, lawsuit filed in 2014 by individuals and entities that bought or sold futures contracts. According to the plaintiffs, records surrendered by Deutsche Bank show traders and submitters coordinated trades in advance of a daily phone call, manipulating the spot market price for silver, conspiring to fix the spread on silver offered to customers, and using illegal strategies to rig prices. Plaintiffs are now able to plead with, obviously, authorities and show direct smoking gun evidence, including secret electronic chats involving silver traders and submitters across a number of financial institutions, a multi-year, well-coordinated and wide-ranging conspiracy to rig the prices. The plaintiffs said in their filing, the new scheme far surpasses the conspiracy alleged earlier. We also have stories in our free weekly newsletter about this. Get our free weekly newsletter from Herald, rarecoloreddiamonds.com, 1-800-432-1022. We'll be happy to send out our free weekly newsletter with the stories that we have on silver manipulation in there. And also, in chats, silver mafia traders flexed muscle, drew blades. Another story, 321 boom, silver fixing allegations in a dozen chats. And it was rather interesting. One of the manipulators noted during one of the secret chats that his boss had purchased silver. And if he was going to rig the market today, he had better been very, very careful, because he didn't want his boss to find out he was rigging the market on the day that his boss bought silver. So you can see there's a lot of skullduggery in that silver market that has now been released in these Deutsche Bank records. And I would imagine that this story will unfold over the days, weeks, and months ahead. And here's hoping that it will clean up the gold and silver market. And to those at GATA, congratulations, Gold Antitrust Action Committee, because, yes, you brought the information forward. You are 100% correct and accurate. The markets were being manipulated, although a lot of money, in fairness, a lot of money was made. When we started doing the show, Harold recommended silver at $4. It went all the way up to $49. And there were a lot of people who took Harold's recommendation, made investments in silver and gold. Gold, obviously, when we started doing the show, was around $250, $300. It went up all the way to $1,900. So there were people that did very, very well, even though it's come to the fore that the markets were manipulated. So here's hoping that the authorities do something about this. If you'd like to get Harold's analysis, give him a call, 1-800-432-1022. Find about the different investment programs that he has today that you can start making money immediately. Ask him about investing in hard assets and his thoughts on the silver rigging in the markets. Connect with Harold, 1-800-432-1022, the website rarecoloreddiamonds.com. Going to come back and talk about diamonds. The World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall, continues right after this. Welcome back to the World Financial Report on Radio with Harold Siegel. My name is Randy Marshall. Joining us via the telephone, our financial and diamond expert, Harold Siegel. We're taping our show on December 16th, 2016. Our time is 9:08 in the morning Mountain. Now, next week, we are going to be on Christmas Eve at 11 a.m. on 630 CHED. Normally, our show runs Sunday afternoon at 3, like today, but due to Christmas, we're going to be on Christmas Eve at 11 a.m. the week after. We're on for the first show of 2017. It's a Sunday, 3 o'clock, first day of 2017, and we will be into the brand new year at that point. But what a week it was. As we were talking off the top of the show, talk to Harold about investing. It's very hard to retire in the financial world we find ourselves today. How do you invest today so you can retire tomorrow? Interest rates here in Canada at a 0.5 point. That's why we do our radio show. Speak with Harold. He talks to listeners like you every week, clients. He'll be happy to talk to you about the programs he has in place to help you start making money immediately. 1-800-432-1022. The website is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and our featured diamond of the week is a .33 carat radiant cut fancy green. I love green diamonds. And here in the last 3-4 months, we've had diamonds with some of the most beautiful colors I think we have ever featured. We've taken them out of the rarecoloreddiamonds.com vaults and have put them on display. It's like going to a museum online when you go to rarecoloreddiamonds.com, and you can see this diamond, featured diamond of the week, that .33 carat radiant cut fancy green. It is amazing. And one of the great things about colored diamonds, not only is it an investment, but it's something that you can wear. It's investments, it's wealth that you can obviously use and wear on an everyday basis if you choose. How many investments are actually put on display in museums? People don't go to the Los Angeles County Natural History Museum to go see a stock certificate or a bond certificate for that matter. They don't do that. Hey, the kids aren't going, "Hey, Mom, wow, look at that stock certificate." But that is not the case when it comes to rare colored diamonds. And there is a spectacular colored diamond exhibit in Los Angeles. I wished I could zip down to L.A. from Edmonton and go to the County Natural History Museum, because they're bringing together rare colored gems before never seen in the United States. And it's called they're actually inside the museum's Gem and Mineral Hall in an exhibit entitled Diamonds, Rare Brilliance. The exhibit center is the Juliet Pink Diamond, an extremely rare pink diamond of more than 30 carats, and a fancy deep grayish-blue-violet diamond named the Argyle Violet Diamond, at the Argyle Mine in Western Australia, where it was discovered in 2015. And this is an extensive and obviously stunning display that they have at the Natural History Museum in Los Angeles. You can read more about it in our newsletter that we send out by email free of charge every week. But Harold, that's the beauty of this market. Sure, it is an investment. But when somebody walks into a room and they have on a diamond that's rare and beautiful with the most stunning color, people, their heads turn. And let's face it, everyone likes to turn heads at times, and you can definitely do that with rare colored diamonds.
You better believe it, Randy. And again, I agree with you. The green diamonds are spectacular. Most people don't know that diamonds come in green, or how they turn green, or that green diamonds actually existed, but they do, because the fact is that diamonds turn colors because minerals seep into the ground and change that color. For example, blue diamonds, which have been on fire. Let's face it, blue diamonds have gone up more than any other diamond has. It's just unbelievable how much they've gone up in the last 5 or 10 years. But the fact is that rare colored diamonds just continue to go up and up and up in value. And again, to get a diamond to turn blue, boron needs to seep into the ground. In order for a diamond to turn yellow or orange, nitrogen has to be present in the soil. And then on top of that, for a diamond to turn green, there has to be uranium. So green diamonds are the next blues. Blue diamonds, so you know, have gone up so much in value that we've never seen anything in history go up more than blue diamonds have. In fact, back in 2005, I remember an auction where a vivid blue diamond sold for $200,000 a carat. That was in 2005. It's now 2016. That's 11 years later. Those vivid blue diamonds are selling for $4 to $5 million a carat, from 200,000 to 4 to 5 million a carat over the last 10 to 11 years. That's an unbelievable return. If you had those type of returns in your retirement savings plan, everybody would be able to retire. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So the fact is is that what we try to do is find trends in the market. As I explained at the earlier part of the show, the trend in the gold market and silver market, for example, from $250 in gold up to $1,900 was the biggest bull market of all time. There's never been a bigger bull market where people have made more money than in that run-up in gold. Now we're looking at other situations like in the currency markets. We're going to see a similar situation in the U.S. dollar. Don't forget, the U.S. dollar was at 72 cents in 2011. Now it's at $1.03. And going way higher. Those are the trends that we're talking about. Those are the trends that we want to get our clients involved in so you can make that type of huge money. In diamonds, there's just so many stories of people that have made fortunes in the diamond market. I know I've mentioned this many, many times, but it's been over the last 50 years that my wife's girlfriend inherited a 5-carat pink diamond from her grandmother. Her grandmother bought it 50 years ago for $50,000, and that diamond's worth over $5 million today. So the fact is that a lot of my clients buy diamonds and put them away. They're a long-term investment. You don't sell diamonds in a few years and expect to make any big money from them. In actual fact, I'm hoping that a lot of our clients won't need the money to sell their diamonds and turn those diamonds over to their kids and grandkids. And when you keep a diamond in the family for a long period of time, that's where major wealth is grown. And that's what we want to see happen. Sure, you can make money if you hold on to a diamond for 10 years. You could easily double or triple your money depending on the diamond. But the fact is that to make the huge money, you want to hold on to that diamond. We have also a secondary market that will resell our clients' diamonds down the road. It's called H. Siegel Fine Auctions, and it's the only company of its kind. It's a live auction that sells primarily diamonds. However, we're trying to do it for January, around the end of January, but we hope to have a new auction that is going to actually last over a period of a week, and we're going to put up some amazing pieces, some coin sets, some gold and silver coin sets. We're going to have some fun pieces, even like I've got some very rare collectible playing cards from Saddam Hussein and his henchmen. Those things are nearly impossible to get today, but I have some, and we're going to have some fun with it. We've got the Iraqi dinar, their currency, with Saddam Hussein's face on it. These things are nearly impossible to get, but a lot of fun to own. So we're hopefully going to have this auction starting up for around the end of January, beginning of February. We're working on it as we speak, and it's really going to be phenomenal. The fact is that the longer you hold on to a diamond, the more that diamond goes up in value. Case in point, this year, in 2016, Shirley Temple's deep blue diamond sold. The fact is it was bought in 1940 by her father for $7,200. So 1940 was a long time ago. It was 76 years ago. However, let's talk about this as an investment. It was bought for $7,200 and sold this year for $25 million. That's the type of returns that we would love to see. Now, obviously, it was a substantial diamond. We've got another amazing opportunity in the diamond market, and it happens to be in pink diamonds. You see, pink diamonds are extremely rare, but 95% of them come from the Argyle mine in Western Australia. That mine is going to close before 2020, means that this is only a 3-year deal until the mine closes. That's short term. On top of that, the price of pink diamonds, because 95% of them come from the Argyle mine, and the Argyle mine is going to close soon, there won't be any more pink diamonds. Well, Economics 101 tells you that when demand is high and supplies are low, prices always go higher. And that's exactly what's happening in the pink diamond market. We anticipate that certain pink diamonds will literally skyrocket in price. There could be certain diamonds that could go up similar to what other diamonds like blues and greens have done in the past. So we're just ecstatic about what's happening. The other major benefit of owning a diamond is that it's in U.S. dollars. That's where we sell them. However, let's say 10, 15, 20 years down the road, the U.S. dollar is not the currency to be in anymore. Let's say the British pound or the euro or the Canadian dollar is. At that point, the beautiful thing is that we have the wherewithal to sell diamonds in different currencies. We could hold an auction in England. We could hold an auction in Japan or in China. So we've got that benefit, and I know the currency markets, not bragging, but probably better than most. Some of the biggest returns I've ever seen on investments have become have happened because we knew the currency markets. Case in point, it's happening right now as we speak. We felt that the U.S. dollar was the strongest currency and going to be the strongest currency, so we moved our clients into U.S. dollars. We're not afraid of making a recommendation because we base our recommendations on very strong information. Again, I've been in this business for 35 years, and I've traded in the commodity markets for that time. We've had some huge winners in these markets, and we anticipate having many more. Right now, most amount of money will be made in the U.S. dollar, and we need to get our Canadian clients out of Canadian dollars and into U.S. dollar-based investments, and you'll reap the rewards of some of the biggest moves that you'll ever see. So, again, Randy, the diamond market is on fire, and it should be. And again, the U.S. dollar is going to be one of the best investments moving forward. And again, you know what's happening with gold. Gold should drop to 1,050. Again, at this point, we're sitting very comfortable in the market.
I remember when the euro was originally launched, it was 87 cents. And Harold said to people, get into the euro. And that euro went all the way, I remember, all the way up to 160, Harold. And people did very, very well on that trade if they stuck through the entire length of the move. But that was another call that Harold had made in the past. The euro, 87 cents to 160. It was a big move, and people did very, very well. Connect with Harold. RareColoredDiamonds.com is the website. 1-800-432-1022. This week's featured diamond is a .33 carat radiant cut fancy green. See it online, RareColoredDiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. And when we talk about diamonds, it's the rarest of the rare. And we had an article last week from the Wall Street Journal, Colored Diamonds Glitter at 2016 Auctions. And one of the diamonds they mentioned, and our featured diamond is a green, is Hong Kong-based Chow Tai Fook Jewelry Group paid $16.8 million for the Aurora Green this year in 2016. Scarcity contributed to the roughly $3 million per carat amount, according to Raul Katika, the international head of the Christie's Jewelry Department. Large green diamonds are unusually said, and reds are even rarer. Blue diamonds and pink diamonds are rare. Pink's just a little easier to find than blues. But in roughly 2 decades, colored diamonds have climbed from $100,000 to $400,000 a carat at auction, and that can go all the way up to around $4 million. And during that period, white diamonds have appreciated a lot, but not as much as colored diamonds because there is a bigger supply. But colored diamonds have done so well. Take a look at Harold's website, RareColoredDiamonds.com. It's like going to a diamond museum online. The world's best diamonds are there. Investment diamonds. Featured diamond of the week, 1.33 carat radiant cut, fancy green. RareColoredDiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. And Harold, you have the scarcity aspect of colored diamonds, and that is only going to increase as time goes on. Over in the Far East, in countries like, obviously, Asia, China, and India, you're going to see people becoming wealthier, wanting to invest in diamonds as an alternative currency to gold, as we're seeing the gold market being rocked here in India, as they're taking almost half of their currency out of circulation, and it's affecting the gold market somewhat. Obviously, there could be a bit of a residue, which is positive for diamonds. People could be moving into diamonds, but the affluence in India and China will increase. They love rarity, scarcity, and colored diamonds just fit into that category so well. There are no new mines being found. And as we've said for many years, the Argyle mine going to be shutting down in about 2020, in about 3 years' time. No new pinks. That means 90 to 95% of the world's pinks gone. And it's not easy to find a blue diamond or a green diamond. In fact, it's getting to the point where there was a mine in Australia where they found just a tiny little blue diamond. And they were just all so excited because they found this tiny blue diamond. It just goes to show how difficult it is, the mining industry, and how rare it is to come across a colored diamond that can be cut and polished and turned into a museum piece, and something that is so rare that investors all over the world fight for them, as is the case with the Argyle pink diamond tender that wrapped up, that recently achieved record prices. And Harold, that's a key point. No new mines are being found. And as time goes on, scarcity will obviously increase because there are less and less diamonds in the world, more and more people that want them as a result of people becoming more affluent over in the Far East.
You better believe it. Again, it's an alternative asset. It's the business that we're in. We chose that business for a particular reason, because it gives our clients several opportunities to trade in currencies, to own an asset that's off the radar, that is outside of the banking system. It gives us almost everything that we need in an asset. The fact is that rare colored diamonds are exactly that, very rare. But not all diamonds are investment quality. In fact, most diamonds aren't. The diamonds that we deal in are investment quality diamonds, and again, those are the diamonds that we urge our clients to consider. So the fact is that you don't need to buy Shirley Temple's diamond for $25 million or one of the Graf Pinks for $45 or $50 million. Most people obviously can't afford that. If you look at the auction results, where those are the stars of the show, the biggest returns are medium and lower priced diamonds. Diamonds that sell in the $100,000 or $50,000 range, could go for double or triple that. They have it many, many times at auction. So, again, we're very pleased with what's happening. This is a very dangerous time in the market. If you don't know what you're doing, you can lose almost all of your money. We don't want that to happen. We do the show, again, for going on 17 years now. We're very serious about our business, and all we want is for our Canadian clients to get through these difficult times and to prosper, and fortunately that's happening at this time.
Speak with Harold personally, privately. The call is free. Let him educate you about the hard asset market and find out how you can position some of your money from Canadian to U.S. dollars and take advantage of the move in the U.S. dollar that is yet to come. Here in Canada, we know they won't be raising interest rates. If anything, they possibly could cut. At most, more than likely, stay at a half a point. In the United States, we're probably looking at 3 interest rate hikes next year in 2017. If that happens, the Canadian dollar will continue to go down. The U.S. dollar will continue to go up, and more than likely for the euro as well. Euro will probably go to par with the U.S. dollar and maybe even dip below. How do you take advantage of that circumstance, knowing that, to make money? Speak with Harold, 1-800-432-1022. The website is rarecoloreddiamonds.com. When it comes to investing in diamonds, you have 5 compelling reasons: privacy, portability, estate planning, price stability, and good long-term growth. And here in Canada right now, if you're sitting in a GIC, you may be lucky and get around 1%. But when you factor in taxes, you factor in inflation, you're in a negative position. And that's why it's very hard to retire when you're earning less than 1% on your investments using the rule of 72. It would take you at 1% 72 years if you got the full effect of the 1%. If you were getting 0.5%, well, you can figure out the numbers. Now, at 10%, it gets more interesting. At 7.2 years to double your money. So you get an idea that it's a lot easier to double your money at higher interest rates. And that's where Harold comes in. He has programs in place where people are getting high interest rates, high returns. Find out more. Connect with Harold, 1-800-432-1022. rarecoloreddiamonds.com is the website. We've talked about Bill C-15. And what does that mean to you as a Canadian investor? If you have not found out any info about Bill C-15, speak with Harold about it. It's a Canadian law that went into effect in June where it enables banks now. Banks will not be bailed out by government or you and I as citizens, but by those that are having money in that bank. And they're called bail-ins. You get shares in that bank, as we saw in Cyprus and other countries. Negative interest rates. We see negative interest rates around the world. And if Canada does not get out of its funk, I know last week we talked about the OECD being very concerned about the housing market in Canada. If it does roll over, who knows? Maybe we do get to negative interest rates. Weak Canadian dollar, housing concerns in Vancouver and Toronto, cashless society. That's another concern. Lots of financial questions today, and so many people looking for answers. And as I said earlier in the show, that's why we do our radio show. So you can get the answers. Harold is our expert. He talks to people like yourself every day. If you'd like to speak with him personally and privately, the call is free. 1-800-432-1022. RareColoredDiamonds.com is the website, and Harold will be around during the holidays. We'll be happy to speak with you, and even after the holidays. Harold, now is a time as we get ready for 2017 and a Trump administration in the United States to position yourself to take advantage of the moves that are yet to come in the U.S. dollar.
You better believe it, Randy, again, and there's lots of opportunity. We'll monitor the Trump situation moving forward, but at this point here, it does look fairly positive. So, again, at this point, the markets are susceptible to change. Continue to listen to the radio show, and you'll learn all about the changes, and you'll be able to react to what's happening in the marketplace. But at this point, I think we have a fairly firm hold on what's happening in the markets and directing our clients in the right direction.
Our featured diamond of the week is a 0.33 carat radiant cut fancy green diamond. It is absolutely spectacular. It's a beauty. See it online. RareColoredDiamonds.com, featured diamond of the week. And if you missed it at the beginning of the program, there was big breaking news this week. Not a surprise to us. We had speculated, obviously, at the people at Ghana Gold Antitrust Action Committee had the proof on the gold side of things for quite some time. If you'd like to get the stories on silver manipulation, we will be happy to send them out to you. Deutsche Bank records show silver rigging at other banks. 8 months after Deutsche Bank settled a lawsuit claiming it manipulated gold and silver prices, documents it disclosed as part of the accord provide smoking gun proof that USB Group, HSBC Holdings, and Bank of Nova Scotia and other firms rigged the silver market, plaintiffs claim. The allegations came in a filing Wednesday in a Manhattan federal court lawsuit filed in 2014 by individuals and entities that bought or sold silver futures contracts. This is a story that will continue into 2017. Educate yourself. We have lots of stories on this matter in our free weekly newsletter. And Harold, we have about a minute left here. Any thoughts on silver?
Well, again, at this particular point, we need more time to talk about the manipulation, but the fact is that we've known that manipulation has gone on for a long time. If they do bring charges against the banks, the unfortunate thing is the people that traded in gold and silver and lost because of manipulation won't get anything back for them. And to me, that is outrageous to even think. So the fact is that this happens often. We know about J.P. Morgan, how they've accumulated so much silver by hurting everybody, by manipulating the market, and they're just going to get richer and richer. And if they've been manipulating the market and taking delivery of silver, which they have been, it's for a particular reason. They anticipate that they're going to do the opposite. As opposed to bringing down the price of silver, they're going to run it up because they own so much of it. So next week's show, we'll talk more about that, but it's an unbelievable situation, and instead of getting mad at it, we're going to use that to our advantage and make a fortune in the silver market when the banks start to turn the market around, and hopefully we'll be the company that will be able to take you in that direction.
Thank you very much, Harold Siegel, for your knowledge and another great show.
It's my pleasure, Randy. I wish everybody a wonderful weekend and a very profitable day.
Don't forget, next weekend, we're on Christmas Eve at 11 a.m. That's it. Another edition of the World Financial Report on radio with Harold Siegel and me, Randy Marshall. We will talk to you next week.